Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another video on Gran Turismo Sport, and we're back with the new daily races that you will be racing this week. So if you do enjoy these videos, please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button, give the video a thumbs up, and yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this week's races, which race you'll be racing, which one you think is the best, and which one you will be avoiding. Get them comments in and let me know. So we're starting off with Fuji daily race A in the N300, I think it is. Now you've got two options, the old Porsche or the 2009 GT3 Porsche. We're in the old version because it's a bit faster on the straight, gives you better opportunity to overtake. So it's a bit trickier to drive going into turn one, being ultra cautious, obviously, because chaos normally pursues. So yeah, trying to take it nice and cautious through there, getting on the curb a little bit there. Unfortunately, we got a little bit pushed wide, back down to P12. But in this race, you know that there's always going to be chaos because the cars are pretty tricky to drive, especially the one we're driving, the older version of the Porsche. Very difficult car to drive, as we've got one Porsche out on the outside there, all the way off the track. They're coming together, side-by-side contact with cars going on here as we come through this corner. And you see there's a lot of robbing going on. 2-second penalty for the silver Porsche there. I'm not sure what that was for. And a 1 second further up as the silver Porsche just turns in on us as we're on the inside. Clearly, we were already on the inside there. He probably just did not see us. But yeah, nothing we could do about that. Now working our way into the braking zone, which, again, making sure you're braking a little bit earlier for this one than what you'd normally do in the GT3 car. So yeah, just a bit before the boarding above us. We come into the braking zone and just look in our mirror and just absolutely punted that driver there. Came from nowhere and then starts hitting the rear of our car as well. Take a little look at that again. We'll see just how far he comes back from, and you can see I think he tries to avoid us but ends up hitting the French driver. But then he just gets on the throttle, keeps hitting the rear of my car, pushes me into the other car. Luckily I got through all that without a penalty though, so luckily up to P8 and no penalty. We've got a car up in P5 with a 1 or 2 second penalty by the looks of it there. So a lot of penalties being dished out on this combination. This is going to be quite a chaotic week. However, we did have this race a while ago, this exact combination, and I really enjoyed it. I found it quite fun. So I think I'm going to enjoy it again this week, even though it is, again, a recycled combination that we literally had, I think it was about 2 months ago, as we take that position there up into P7. And you can see the advantage now with this car that I'm using, the older version of the Porsche, compared to the GT3. On acceleration, it's a lot faster. However, as we come out of the slipstream, we obviously haven't got that weak slipstream dragging us down the straight. So yeah, we have to just pretty much go for a bit of a lunge. We brake as late as we can down to second gear and actually go down to first briefly just to rotate the car, and then on the front. And we do a nice little move there, gaining 2 positions, putting myself up to P5. So pretty good opening lap there now. So we've got 3 more laps to go. Can we make our way a little bit further up as we go into the braking zone, being very cautious through it. Very easy to miss that apex like I did there. And the car that I'm driving, the older Porsche, does try to kill you nearly every corner. I will warn you now. This is definitely one of the trickier cars out of the two. I think the GT3 version is probably a little bit easier to drive, hence why you can see a lot of people driving that. The one I'm in, I think it's faster. It gives you better overtaking opportunities, but it is trickier to drive. So bear that in mind with your selection. If you're probably a lower ranked driver, you're probably going to want to go with the 2009 GT3. It's a little bit easier to drive, but make sure you got your brake bias towards the front with these cars. It will help you out in the braking zones, keeps it a bit more stable. But you can see we're going to go and try and go around the outside of P4 here. Can we manage to take it around the outside? We're going to brake late, try and hog it on the outside. He's trying to give us space, but he does squeeze us and gives us a little knock off the track there. So we're going to send it straight back up the inside of the Spanish driver, managing to make the corner. We give him a little knock similar to what he did to us, and yeah, we both go for there. However, he's still got the inside line, so we're going to give him the space on the apex. And however, as we give space on the apex, this Italian driver just absolutely shunts us off the track. I knew he was coming up, but I expected him to give us a bit of space. We were on the outside of the track, but yeah, he gets a penalty for that though. You can see in the mirror. I don't know if he already had a penalty or what, but yeah, he's got a penalty, so he's out. We managed to keep going. We're just trying to clean the tyres up now from this chaotic race, and we're still in P5 luckily. So yeah, all is not lost. We just got to carry on and see if we can gain a few more positions. So having a little look up the inside here, just so I can see the braking distance. We're not going to go for a move. As we see, I think that is the driver that was in P2 went for a move on P1, totally missed his braking. I don't think there was any incident. He just missed his braking and went straight on into the barrier at the end and basically got reset to track. So we managed to go for a move on this driver now, putting ourselves up into P3. Nice little move there on the power, using the power of this older Porsche. You can see the advantage there on acceleration, just so much faster. And then we come through here, just trying to keep it as smooth as you can. This is very tricky in the older Porsche. In the loop, you see how the rear just wants to snap on you, but this is why I kind of enjoy this combination. I remember last time we did it, I had some really fun like races driving this car, drifting through corners. It is an enjoyable combination if you can get used to it. However, like I say, it's tricky, and we did have this combination only a few months ago, this exact one. So again, variety polyphony seems to be lacking a bit, but we can only race what we've got on for the week. So attacking now into P2. Can we make our way up into P2? P2 runs a little bit wide there. We're going to try and go around the outside there. He just about keeps it on track, and that puts me up to P2. So nicely now into P2 from last on the grid. Now we've got to try and make sure we don't miss his braking. However, we do brake a little bit late there, and I was a little bit slow on the throttle, so he's right up behind us now. We're going to try and take a tight line through. However, we have a little bit of oversteer. He gives us a little shunt up the rear, nothing major, and now we're going to try and drift. We're actually drifting around the outside of this Porsche, managing to hold the car there, and now we're up the inside. He's going to try and do a cutback to get a bit of better acceleration along this straight, and we managed to just about use the extra power and acceleration of the older Porsche, and we've still got that inside line. So luckily, we should be able to defend this into the braking just before the Dunlop board above our head there, down into second gear, and keep an eye on that mirror. And the other driver in the other Porsche just descends it on the other Spanish driver, and I think this Spanish driver is not too impressed with that. He sends it back, and that pretty much gives me the P2 in this race. So overall valuation of this race, there's fun racing. This car is tricky. It's going to drift a lot. There's going to be a lot of chaos, penalties. I expect to be getting some more content for the video that I'm working on this week from this race, because yeah, I can imagine it getting quite dirty. However, it is quite fun at the same time. So next up we have Spa in Group 3 for Daily Race B. Now this is a 3-lap race. Yes, 3 laps. Doesn't really seem worth it in my view, but another big problem of this race is the rolling start. This race would have been more fun as a standing start. I think it would have made it a lot more entertaining. So yeah, with the rolling start, you can see there's a big problem straight away at Spa. Now, the top 3, we're pretty much all in each other's slipstream. However, P4 has been absolutely shafted there. He's now 1.4 seconds behind. So basically, with the slipstream on this game, if you've got 3 good drivers at the front that are driving well and they're not battling like crazy, you have 0 chance, because they're just going to pull away from you. Obviously, you can get up there if they start battling, they're not as fast and stuff like that, but it just gives you such a disadvantage because you just lose so much time down the straight. So again, I'm quite baffled why they didn't do a standing start for this one, because it would have made the race a lot more fun and enjoyable. It's a Daily Race B, let's make it entertaining. The field spread in this is just a bit stupid for a 3-lap race. It kind of feels a bit daft, but let's see what we can get out of it. The racing, I like this combination. It's Group 3 at Spa, one of my favourite combinations, but I'm going to be critical where I think it needs criticising. This race needed to be a standing start in my view. At least make it entertaining, because a rolling start round here with 3 laps, it's bad enough on an FIA race with like 12 laps, but on a 3-lap race, it just seems a bit silly. So next time, please, Polyphony, make sure you do this as a standing start, please. If you're going to do this as a Daily Race B, at least make it fun. But yeah, let's see if we can get our way up to P2. We're chasing down the French driver in front of us. He's in the Supra. The Supra does seem like a very strong car. I'm driving the Peugeot RCZ. Peugeot RCZ is one of my favourite cars around here. However, in these conditions with no tyre wear, it's not the fastest. I think the Audi R8, when you've got no fuel on board, obviously for Daily Race B. So with no fuel, the Audi R8, the Supra, I think the Corvette might be worth a shot personally. There'll be a few other cars as well, but we're driving the RCZ because I like the car around there. I wanted to just use it again because I'm used to it. We did the creators race with it. It's enjoyable. It's got a good 6th gear when you're in slipstream. However, once you're out of slipstream, you're going to see if we go for the fake, he does not fall for that. We're going to see if we can hang it around the outside, braking late, but he comes off the brakes a little bit there. A little bit of contact, but nothing bad. He just defends his line and manages to hold on to P2. So you can see there is racing to be had in this combination, as again we skip further on in this lap to the end of lap 2, And we've already only got about 3 more opportunities to overtake in this race, because there's pretty much only 2 places on the track where you're going to get a move done, really, because of the slipstream and stuff. So going into the braking zone now, we're going to see if we can go for a move around the outside, braking late, but we're not going to be able to send it around the outside there. So just trying to get as close as we can this time for the run down the hill through a Rouge and Redallion, and then see if we can go for a move before the braking zone for the chicane. So yeah, we're over the line and starting a new lap. You can see P1 just managing to stay out the slipstream as well, which is helping me try and put a move on P2. We are probably getting held up a bit because I think the RCZ was a little bit faster than what we were doing at the moment. I'd only done 2 laps practice with this car also, so I am used to driving it here though. But yeah, I wasn't really fully up to speed. So we're going to try and go round the outside again. Let's see if we can brake nice and late. We're going to try and do the same thing again. He drives a defensive line. He squeezes a little bit there, but again, I think it's fair. Not really much we could do there. I think he drove it fair, and yeah, again, we're stuck behind the Supra. But yeah, again, this race, it kind of feels a bit strange because look at the gaps behind us now. Because P4 obviously had no slipstream, he's probably battling with cars behind him because of the lack of slipstream. So that's another knock-on effect, because that P3 driver doesn't get the slipstream, and then P4 doesn't get the slipstream, but cars behind him do. He's then having to defend, which stops him from being able to attack and try and catch the lead group up. But not much you can do. You have to live with what you're given to race. As again, we're going to go for one final opportunity to go for a move on P2. We're going to get the slipstream. Can we go for a send in this corner? We're going to try and really send it round the outside. We brake really late, but as you can see, that's a bit too late. And luckily, we make the corner still, and we're going to have to settle for a P3. So there's racing to be had. We had quite a fun race with P2. It was enjoyable, but it just seems a bit short and a bit silly with the rolling start. So as you can see now on screen with the field spread is crazy, up to 22 seconds all the way through the grid. So next race, Daily Race C, make sure you use both medium and soft tyres for this one. It is at Dragon Trail in Group 2, and the compulsory tyres are both of them. So make sure you do not do a no-stop race or put softs on for both stints. You do need to use both tyres. So for this one, I'm starting at the back of the grid in the Nissan GTR Group 2 car, and we're going to see what we can do. We're starting on the medium tyres, obviously from the back of the grid. Probably the best way to do this race. Now I've done a few laps on my main account on time trial. As we go through the start of the race, and P16, a big F in the comments for P16 there. If you are starting from P16, be very cautious of that, because Group 2 cars on the medium tyres, for example, for a corner like that, very easy to do. So be cautious if you are starting P16 in this race, because that is very possible to happen. As we come through in, P15 has a big moment there, but manages to catch it, and luckily for him, he's managed to stay in this race, unlike the driver before. But we're going to follow these through here now. And yeah, like I said, I had no idea with the strategy for this race, because I'd just done a few time trial laps. We just jumped into this. I haven't got time to do too much racing today, because I've got to pick up my partner from work and stuff. So yeah, it was just a case of jumping on, seeing what we could do as we come through here. And P15 absolutely murders that Italian driver. I don't think it was deliberate, but it was a little bit naughty, I can tell you that now. So we're going to go up the inside. He actually lets us through there. He doesn't defend that. So and I don't think he was a dirty driver. I just think he made a mistake, but maybe should have waited for the Italian driver there, personally, I think. But we're up to P14. That's good for me. So we're going to try an experiment for you lot in the chat. We're going to try and give you the ultimate tyre test. Will these tyres go 12 laps? And we're about to find out, because I am going to go in the pits on lap 1 and do 12 laps on the soft tyres. Now, this is a brave strategy, but as you know, this track is extremely hard to overtake on. I don't know if you remember the FIA race a long time ago in Group 1. We ended up getting stuck behind Calster for a number of laps, purely because of the undercut and the fact that this track is quite a hard track to overtake on in high downforce cars. Group 2 is a little bit different. It's a little bit easier to follow, as again, the driver that binned it at the start of the race has another F moment there. He spinned it on the fast chicanes, and he is having an absolute nightmare. So we're going to skip a little bit further ahead to lap 4. You can see we've done a lap now, and we're joining and catching up to P16. Now, we had quite a nice little few laps there. You can see with no traffic, which is nice, which is great as well, because it gives you a nice undercut to other drivers that are probably battling away. So the advantage of this strategy is a lot of clean air just to get the laps in, not be battling, not be skidding and around, sliding around and stuff like that because of getting punted and stuff like that. So your tyres probably do last a bit longer in that essence. But coming through the final corner, you can see P16's tyres definitely not as good as ours at the moment, or I don't know if he's on mediums or what. We get a nice run on him in the slipstream. He's just going to let us pass. He's not going to defend that, as we have one driver into the pits there from the medium tyres, and he's coming out on the soft tyres, I think that was there for P15. So he should be really, really fast because he's putting a fresh set of soft tyres on. That's going to be hard to defend against. But yeah, we're up to P15 now. Let's see what more progress we can make in this race. We're just trying to keep it as smooth as possible, not make any mistakes, and yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Looking at the tyre wear though, it's looking quite worn already, I will say that. Tyre wear looking quite worn. We've got a long way to go, but the tyres do look a little bit worn. As we fast forward the action again to the end of lap 5, and we're going to see a few more cars going into the pits, obviously to probably swap over from the mediums, I think, at this stage. Some probably going off the soft because they're probably not using them to the full advantage. But yeah, we've got a few more cars on the mediums there into the pit lane. That's going to jump us up another couple of positions. So again, this is why I like these strategies for daily race Cs, because you just do all your overtakes with people going in the pits because you're getting such a nice undercut. You've not got cars to battle. As we're coming up to P11 now, he looks like he's on very worn tyres at this stage, so we need to see if we can find a way past him as soon as possible. Hopefully he won't try and defend it too much because obviously he hasn't pitted yet. We've pitted. Try and drive it smart. But yeah, we get a really nice run out of that corner. We're going to be able to go on the left hand side. He thinks about defending it, but yeah, we've got the inside line for that corner. He's not going to be able to defend that, and we take that position perfectly easy, no issue there. And up to P11. So far race is going okay. Tyres are still looking a bit iffy though. But fast forwarding the action again on lap 6, as we're just getting our way through the end of the lap with no real traffic there, and we're going to come to the end of lap 6, and again we've got more cars now. We've got a soft runner going in the pits there, another medium tyre runner going in the pits, and a few other drivers in the pits off the mediums as we come over the line. And we're now up to P7 again. A lot of overtakes done without even doing an overtake, and this is where the big brain move comes in from pitting on lap 1. It's risky, but the big question is, will these tyres hold on? I'm not sure at this stage. I had to say a little bit iffy. Yeah, we're coming halfway through the race now. We're going to have a little look at our tyre wear now on the telemetry, and you can see this is they're not terrible, but they've got half of the, we still got half the race to go. Obviously we did one lap on the medium, so they're going to be looking very warm by the time we come to the end of this race. But we will not give up. We will try and see if we can get ourselves into the top 5 if possible in this race. That was the aim when I went into this race. This isn't really my favourite combination, but I felt that we could get a top 5 from strategy and just, racing smart and stuff like that. As we're approaching P6 up ahead of us, P Steve, otherwise known as he's going into the pits, and we've got another driver from the lead in the pits. And yeah, this is going to be another couple of positions gained. The lead driver is going to come out in the lead though, because he was actually I think he was about 10 seconds clear when we pitted. So we're up to P5 now, and we actually come out ahead of P6 there, who has put on the soft tyres. I did notice that. So he had done his first stint on the mediums. He is going to be a lot faster than me now. So I already knew that he was on the soft tyres, and there wasn't really much point fighting with him, because if I fight it too much, I lose time personally as well. And sometimes you have to use a bit of racecraft and understand, obviously we're doing a different race to him. He started at the front, we started at the back, as another victim of the death chicane. As we go through there, we've got another car off the track, and that is a freebie up to P4. And yeah, the race is going almost perfectly at the moment. And as we come to the final corner, P3 is going awfully slowly. I noticed this straight away, and he hasn't pitted yet. So this is going to upgrade us now to P2, because P2 also pits. So into P2 in this race, this is not what I expected at this stage. I did not expect to be in P2 from last on the grid at this combination, where obviously it's really difficult to overtake. But again, the strategy has put me here, thinking ahead, going in early, and basically experimenting for you lot just to see how long the tyres will last. But you can see the tyres are feeling quite warm as we come to the end of lap 9. We're now getting caught up by P3 on them fresh softs. So rejoining the action, you can see he's into our slipstream. he's going to be picking up that slipstream now down the straight, and then he's going to be a lot faster through the corners, obviously with them fresh soft tyres. So just watch the gaining speed through here. He's going to gain a lot. Even though he's got the dirty air, he's going to start gaining really fast on us. There's not much we can really do in terms of that, but the aim is to let him through when it's safe, and also to try and minimize the time that I lose. So through here, we're keeping it nice and smooth. He's starting to get a bit of that dirty air, and you're going to see the effects of the dirty air and why the undercut is so strong, because just watch this now as we come through here. He gets the massive amount of understeer, probably not expecting that much understeer considering he's on fresh softs, and that shows you the problem with, you know, pitting late and just putting yourself in traffic. The strategy that I'm on is just giving you so much clean air. You're not losing time following people. You're not, you know, battling with people. As again, he's got a really good exit there. He's not going to be able to go through here though. I wasn't going to just back out and let him through in a, you know, like a stupid place like this, because I didn't want the dirty air going through the death chicane, because this corner will take you out if you make a mistake. But yeah, not as hard in Group 2, I would say, but it's still very easy to make a mistake. That is the thing about that death chicane. So we're going to let him go through here. You see, I'm not going to battle that because my fight is not with that driver. He is on soft tyres. My tyres are dead. There is 0 point me battling. So I just take the wider line just so I can tuck into his slipstream, and then we just get a bit of benefit off of his car down the straight, which is going to gain me a couple of attempts. You know, it's all thinking about the long run. There's no point battling. As you see, we're getting the slipstream, and I back out there because I'm not going to go for the move, because there is no point fighting him. He's going to beat me. He's on fresh soft tyres. He started at the front of the grid. We started at the back. Our race is not with him. So yeah, let him go and think about where we're going to finish in the race, not about in the moment. It's some advice I could give. I think a lot of people could take advantage of. We see it a lot of the time. People fight battles that it's just not worth battling, then they lose more positions because of it. But now we're going to get attacked by P4. You can see another driver coming behind us. Now this driver, I wasn't sure that he might be on the mediums, so I wasn't 100% sure if we should battle this out for a little bit. Let's see if we can, you know, defend for a couple of corners, get an idea of what tyres he's on, and then make a decision on should we let him through. So we go defensive there, break nice and early, make sure we hit the apex. It gives us a little knock there, another little knock there. However, we managed to stay on the track, and we're going to be able to stay ahead of him because we've got the outside line there, which is going to give us the inside for the death chicane. He's not going to hang it around the outside there. And yeah, at that stage I wasn't sure. He got all twitchy on the exit of the death chicane as well, so I was wondering, is he on the medium tyres? We might be able to hold him off. However, when I saw the break in here and how much he gained on me on that corner there, I found it pretty obvious that he was on the soft tyres. So no need to really carry on defending with this driver. So we're going to just let him go through. So I'm going to go to the right hand side of the track here. So we're going to let him get the slipstream and then let him take the inside line into this corner. So again, we're just trying to think of the long term for this race. So we're going to let him go. We're going to brake early, tuck in, give ourselves a nice line through this corner so we don't get too much understeer from following in his dirty air. And again, we're going to get a little bit of a benefit from his slipstream. So again, driving smart. We're not fighting him really. I could see after that final corner that he's probably on the soft tyres also. No real need to battle him. And now all we have to do is hold on for this lap and a half, and we've got ourselves a nice P4. Because looking at the gap to P5, it looks like no one behind us is really catching us up that much. So maybe some of them are on medium tyres or very worn tyres. Don't know what's going on, but this is the thing about this combination. If you give yourself a good undercut, you end up just giving yourself clean air, smooth laps, and other drivers get caught behind other drivers because of the dirty air. And yeah, you end up getting a reasonable finish. So you can see we're still over 2 seconds behind P5. He's not catching us up as we skip through this lap, and we've just got a few more corners to go now. And yeah, a pretty solid race. But look at that tyre wear. I was very surprised that we actually kept this on the track, but even though it was really bad for grip, it wasn't impossible to drive because it's the soft tyres. So do bear that in mind. You can make these strategies work. Now, I personally think the optimal strategy would probably be 4 laps on the mediums, and then obviously 9 laps on the soft tyre. So that's probably optimal, but I don't think it might not be the fastest in a race situation, because if someone gets an undercut on you and then you get put into traffic, it'll really ruin your race, trust me. So it's a real hard, it's a bit of a thinking man's race this. This time we got lucky, I think. We went for the risky strategy and it's paid off, and we managed to get a P4 from last on the grid, or 18th on the grid or something like that. So pretty fun race. I enjoyed it. We'll do a couple more of these on stream later on. It's not the best combination I've ever raced on Gran Turismo Sport, but it's still enjoyable. A few, you know, Daily Race A is enjoyable, Daily Race C, Daily Race B is a bit meh, but yeah, hopefully you lot will enjoy it. Remember to let me know which race you are going to be doing this week in the comment section, and I'll see you all for a stream on these combinations throughout the week. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Bye.